What's going on, guys? My name is Lethal and welcome back to another episode of my talking series. In today's video I thought it was a good time to stray away from CSGO, with it being in a bit of an off season or a bit of an off period, and I thought it was a good time to cover Fortnite with the World Cup being on, as well as I did want to start talking about Fortnite esports. I've been following it ever since Fortnite Friday really started, been obviously following a lot of the big names such as your Tifus, your Cloaksies, your Meths, and I've also now been starting to look at some of the players that were unknown, and just ultimately trying to get more knowledge in the scene. However, in this video, I want to cover the question, or my opinion, of why I think Fortnite can be a huge esport. And yeah, hopefully you agree with some of the points. If you don't and you have different points, please leave them down in the comment section below. Would love to have a discussion with people about their view and where they think Fortnite can go. But yeah, I've got 4 points I want to cover, so let's just jump straight into it. So the first point I do want to cover is the storylines. Every good esport has storylines, whether it's teams coming back from a shocking defeat or players that were once thought not to be too good and that have dropped off coming back to form and being dominant players. And I think Fortnite has these storylines such as King. If you didn't know, he is a 13-year-old Argentinian who played in the World Cup solos. He got 13, no, he got fifth, I mean, and won $900,000. Stories like that just don't happen every day, and it's what makes Fortnite really good. It also leads on to my next point, which I'll cover in a second. But players such as like Tifu, who are one of the biggest names in Fortnite, if not the biggest name, and seeing how he does and his this almost you are like he is perceived to be one of the best players in the world, if not the best player in the world. So obviously the storyline of whether he live up to the hype in the World Cup was something that was going into it, and obviously he didn't have a great tournament. So now the storyline of can he redeem himself? Players such as Clix are in that same boat, who didn't have great World Cups, but we do get the storyline of will they redeem themselves? And obviously people like to invest in players, like to invest in teams, like to invest in these storylines, and yeah, that's one reason why I think Fortnite has got one of the main ingredients to be great. Second one I want to cover is the age restriction. If you don't know, Fortnite you have to be 13 years old to compete in any of the tournaments, which is different to a lot of other games. A lot of other games are between 16 and 18, which Fortnite being this young is great in my opinion, purely from a standpoint of the more players that can play, the bigger talent the biggest talent that we can have, which leads to better games. A lot of players such as King, Clex is another one, 13 and 15 respectively. There's a lot of younger pros. The average age of the duo tournament, I can't remember what the solo one was, but the duo one was 16 years old, which is nuts. So as I say, the more players we can have, the more the talent, better competition, that's what it leads to. So yeah, the next one I want to cover is the qualifiers. Now I understand a lot of people have issues with online, don't worry, I'm in exactly the same boat as a gamer. I think online tournaments and online competitions can be a pain in the ass. However, I think for Fortnite it is a good way to do things. Gives everybody as best of a fair chance as possible to be able to get into the World Cup. There was 40 million people that played in the qualifiers for solos and duos, which I think there's no way you're going to be able to fit them into a LAN environment and do it that way, unless you have a selective pool of people that you want to bring in. But I think online qualifiers are the way that Fortnite had to go. There was no other option, and as I say, it gives everybody an equal chance to be able to compete and to move on. As I say, there is obviously problems with it, and it's not perfect. However, yeah, if 40 million people are going to participate, you need that. You need to do it that way because it's just impossible to learn it. And the last point I want to make is exposure to the game. If you don't know, TV and radio stations right now are covering the Fortnite World Cup. Jimmy Fallon recently had Booger. Day of recording this, he had him on last night on his show. As well as that, I'm in the UK and I've heard numerous radio stations as well as our main news channels will talk about it. And it's the same in the US. I've been seeing coverage, which is huge for the game. It means people that don't necessarily know what it is will start to look into it and ultimately could start watching it, which more people watching is the main reason why games become as big as they are. As well as that, it is one of the most watched games on Twitch, if not the most watched, and there is a lot of money in the scene. 30 million was awarded, and we know there's going to be more, which is just insane. So I think all of these combined gives Fortnite the recipe for a massive game and a massive mark on the esports world. It's just whether they can continue to be on this stable path, listen to the community and ultimately become better. So guys, I hope you have enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned tomorrow where I'll have a video about Booger and his domination. Other than that, guys, have a great day. See you next time.